The footage you're about to see explores themes of self-harm and addiction, which may distress some viewers.
I'm Brendan Riley. I am an addict that was addicted to ice, alcohol and marijuana. I'm an ex-suicide victim. I'm here to hopefully help someone.
Hi, my name's Tracy. I was addicted to prescription pills for 30 years since I was 12.
I'm Ben Hannock, I'm a business owner. I had a problem and I made a change. Still kicking on at 8 o'clock in the morning and looked outside and the car's gone, the kids are going to school, no one said goodbye to Dad, so probably gone, he's a drunk mess in the motorhome and, what am I doing this for? This isn't me.
Addiction. It's a word that strikes fear into the heart of many and one of Australia's biggest problems. It's estimated that there is one addict in every family, yet many don't seek help. Today on Rehab Diaries, 3 brave individuals share their story in the hope that they can inspire others to take that first step. Three months clean and sober. Brendan heads back to Gold Coast Detox and Rehab to reunite with Janine and Alistair, who he attributes to saving his life.
How are you going?
Good.
Looking fantastic.
You look really well.
Thank you.
I got a phone call from Brendan and he said, I'm at this place in New South Wales, can you pick me up? A staff member and I went to pick him up. He was actually homeless. He had all this bag and a dog.
Brendan was one of those clients who was in very dire state when he arrived, and we were not so optimistic. So what's special about Brendan is he's surprised everybody, including himself, and he's done an incredible recovery. Every time we see him, we're just going, wow, is that possible? He's done the impossible.
Brendan shot himself in the head, thinking his baby boy would be better off with his insurance money than to have him as a father.
I walked upstairs, I said to the guy whose house it was at, and I said, I'm going to go downstairs and shoot myself. And he laughed. I went downstairs, I loaded my gun, put it underneath my jaw, put my face apart. I was in a coma for 1 month and 2 days. I was hospitalised while they rebuilt me for about 6 or 7 months. They took both of my fibular bones, both of my pectoral muscles to rebuild my face. It's also the worst decision I've ever made in my life. My family, my wife, at that time, everything went downhill. I was just nothing more than the freak that you're seeing in the mirror. Alcohol and drugs, they don't make who you are. They make you who they want you to be. They're the poison, and that's the best way to explain it. It's a poison in your system.
One year clean and sober, and Tracy has a completely new lease on life.
Hey Trace, how are you? You look really well.
Thank you. Come here. Hello. How good do you look? Look at you. I'm feeling amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys.
When I went to pick up Tracy, I found her in the chemist with a big pile of pills.
So Tracy was incredibly nervous about coming in. She didn't believe she could do it. Tracy drew on her inner strength that she didn't even know she had. So as it turns out, Tracy's been far stronger than she ever imagined she was capable of. I think when you start your addiction very early, particularly with medication and pills, you never get to know what your feelings are. And if it starts in your teenage years and you come into rehab in your 40s, you don't really know who you are. So it's a big process of self-discovery when people go home, feeling things for the first time.
At her worst, Tracy was taking handfuls of pills each day, washed down with copious amounts of alcohol, all whilst holding down a job as a hairdresser.
How it all started was I grew up in a household with drugs and alcohol in particular, domestic violence, split family. Drugs are very scattered everywhere. They were given to me also because I was a bit of a sick kid, and that's when I guess, you know, as I got older into my teen years, things started to escalate emotionally for me with what was going on at home. So it got me quite mellow and I didn't have to worry about it, I guess. And then things escalated quite quickly. Anxiety with what was happening. So therefore you need more drugs to calm down, different drugs. So you start balancing from one drug to the other. Kind of gets out of control a little bit. Then you sort of turn to a little bit of alcohol as you get older. It's so readily available in a household. You drink interstate pills because that's just normal. I thought was normal.
Looking from the outside in, you'd think Ben has it all. A thriving business, a beautiful wife and 2 boys, and enough money to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. But all the success in the world won't stop you getting caught in the grip of addiction.
Ooh, here he is.
Here's trouble.
G'day, Benny. How are you, mate? How you
Look
going?
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, geez, you look well.
Oh, yeah. 9
Yeah.
kilos down.
9 kilos, yeah.
Instead of a couple of empty stubbies in there, I've got a protein shake and a man shake. There you go. No, normally it used to be the old empty stubbies in there.
Empty stubbies in there.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, come on up and tell us all about
all right,
what's
no
happening.
worries. Done.
Ben is a very successful man. He's a very open and honest person. He's very generous also. He's done very well from him. He's come from nothing. He's worked his way to a point in his life where he believed he got bored.
Ben's one of those sort of clients where you would not expect him to have a problem. Addiction doesn't discriminate, so it doesn't matter if you live on the street or if you live in a mansion, everyone can have the same problem. And that's what's really unique about Ben. Ben has everything going for him and he still struggled with addiction.
Ben owns a truck washing empire, flies a private jet and drives a Rolls Royce, proving addiction doesn't discriminate.
So yeah, we wash 5,500 trucks a week all around Australia. So we've got national contracts from Coles, Woolworths, Toll, Star Trek, Australia Post, FedEx, and we've got about 180 staff that indirectly report to me. Life went on pretty quickly, so started a business, got married, had a kid all before I was 25. Didn't go to the party scene, so I wasn't a drinker. Never went to nightclubs, anything like that in my earlier days because I was too busy working. So and I sure made up for that later in life. So corporate hospitality, going out for long lunches and kicked on to early dinners and then late dinners and then out to all the seedy pubs and everything like that. So when you do that in every capital city and you got to be fresh and everything for the next day, and so obviously the drinking started taking a toll on life, and it started getting really out of control. And then the gambling come in. After you have a drink. Well, my saying now is one's too many and a hundred's not enough. So drinks, which is so true. So one kicks you off, and and then 100 you just not enough, so you just keep going.
So when I pick people up, there's usually a lot of anxiety, fear. They may even be intoxicated. They may have been using. So I just usually introduce myself, make them feel comfortable or make that rapport with them. Just take their bag, tell them that they don't have to worry about anything now, we'll pay for everything, just to bring them down. But that's usually how they're feeling. They're not usually in a very good place and they're not happy. They're usually very unwell.
So we created Gold Coast Detox and Rehab because we could see there was a niche in the market. We could see that people were not always suited to the public system. And so we created an environment here that's comfortable, nurturing, safe, and very private. So we value confidentiality and a high level of personal care. We operate like a household, so we're not an institution. So we take 4 people at a time and make them feel like they're at home. So we all eat together, we all interact together, and so it's a very relaxed environment. Usually with recovery, You've got 1 week of detox, and then the time after detox we call rehab. So rehab is where there's no medication, everybody has detoxified physically, and then that's when we do the mental emotional work. So in the rehab phase, when people are feeling a lot better within themselves and they're clearer in the head, we organise massage, yoga, acupuncture, activities. We get up to all sorts of activities. We might go bushwalking, skydiving, we do art, we do dance lessons, we do all sorts of things, and we tailor make a program to suit the client.
Yeah, what I found is that culturally most of the males are very reluctant to dance, and we have to sometimes get them here kicking and screaming because they don't dance. But once they get to have a little bit of an experience and realize that it's not actually that bad and that they can do it, they get to the point that they actually have fun and get a little bit of a tweak in their head, and they can do it and they can enjoy it, and it's not this shameful thing that they have in their heads.
So not all clients are suited to all activities, but as we get to know them and we get to know our clients very well, we work out what sort of activities are going to be therapeutic for them.
The thing that I love about this place is the one-on-one counselling, you know. They knew you were, they weren't, you know, you're not sitting in a group of 30 people.
Telling everyone your fucking dramas, yeah. You know, where at least one-on-one you just let it all out because it's fucking you and them and that's it,
Exactly, mate, you know.
And novelty is a big factor when looking for new and unique experiences to make their clients smile. Today is a private show with magician Matt Hollywood.
I don't think I've ever been to a magic show in my life, so this is a first for me.
Oh, mate, it's great to see him nervous for once. He hates surprises the whole time on the way here. He was shitting himself, so it's great.
All right, guys, nice to see you all. And you know what? Today we're going to show you a little bit of magic just about here.
Clients form a bond like no other, and all report seeing life through new eyes. And when Brendan was about to be sawn in half, his therapy dog Tuppence was not seeing the lighter side.
I originally did this with my sister. Now she's my half-sister.
Ben's best mate Anthony had a front row seat to his spiralling life.
Yeah, so I saw it progress just through, you know, him having a few drinks every now and again at a barbecue or when we go around for dinner, things like that. So basically we'd go out to a function and he'd just be out of control, you know, like he'd just be drinking and drinking. And it became to the point where, you know, he'd just loud, obnoxious, and you'd have to try to calm him down and settle him down. It was worrying, I guess, to see from where it started to where it ended up, you know, because for us, being close, you know, drinking leads to other things, as we all know, and other things, you know, make things worse. But for me, especially towards the last probably 2-3 years, it was more I was worried, obviously worried for his wife and his kids because they were going through a pretty hard time as well. But also, I'd say to Fiona, I'm going to see Ben on the news where he's going to end up dead or in jail. That's kind of where he was going with it. There's only 3 really options where I thought it was going to end up. And they were the 3, you know, and you try to talk to him, you try to pull him aside, but, you know, with any kind of addiction, I think anyway, the person has to be ready to stop, right? They've got to get to that point. I was very proud of him for doing it and glad that he did it. It was more of a relief. It was more of a thank God moment, you know? Because that's the hardest step, right? Letting people know that, hey, I got a problem and I need some help.
With their emotions, we usually start brief intervention straight away and psychoeducation. So we tell them what we're going to do and we tell them how we're going to go about it. They're going to get angry and they're going to find fault with us, and they're going to feel as though that they're not validated. But that's only the drugs talking.
Tracy's addiction and tolerance to prescription pills grew steadily over decades. She became very clever at fooling numerous doctors and pharmacists just to keep up with the demand. In a typical day, she'd be taking Panadol, Valium, Xanax, antihistamines, Stilnox and Endone, as well as alcohol on top of that. And every pill would be crushed to heighten the effect.
After I spoke to Alistair and had my first assessment, he was so awesome. He's like, okay, it sounds like you're not okay. Let's take you pretty much straight away, because I was withdrawing really badly. During detox, I was feeling very anxious. My anxiety just exploded. I could barely function. It's good to have people to do stuff for you. They take care of everything. Even if you need to talk to them before you come in, they're available all the time. Also too, they arranged for me to have a massage that night and acupuncture. So when you're detoxing, obviously you got headaches, muscle aches, and I was like, oh, thank God, because I was just a mess. Look, if it wasn't for them, I think I would be dead. I think they are an amazing team here. All of them together just make the best supportive team I've ever come across. You really need an addiction counsellor. You know, you can tell how you're feeling on that day, and she'd be like, yep, this is, this is normal. This is, it gave you strategies and how to deal with when you get out there.
She had a very, very, very long recovery to get off the substances she was on. So we did the main thing, and making sure that she didn't come under the spotlight and to be ridiculed in any way. So she was this person trying to be perfect, and she wasn't. And we got to a point where, Tracy, all you have to do is be complete at the end of the day. You don't have to be perfect.
I didn't think I would enjoy life this much, because I never did. It's really good. I've actually into routine. I'm actually up really early. I don't sleep during the day anymore. People are like, wow, you look amazing. And I'm feeling amazing. Yeah, I'm functioning the best I think I've ever felt in my entire life without pills. And I would never go back, ever.
Ben grew up in Housing Commission north of Brisbane with his mother and disabled brother. Despite the challenges he faced, Ben started his first business at 17 years old and has gone on to be a wildly successful self-made entrepreneur. From the outside in, it looks like he's got it all.
When your kids turn around to you and say, Daddy, you're going to drink again, and then you start going, oh, Dad, you're drinking all the time. What do you mean? Well, and then you start going through photos. Now, there wasn't a photo that I had in my phone that I could scroll back for the last 10 months where I didn't have a drink. Not really what you want your kids to be, and then they're having a sip of your beer, and then they're asking for a non-alcoholic beer, and you just, then you go, where's this leading to? Before you know it, they're going to be 14, 15, 16, sneaking beers behind your back, and they're going to be in a world of hurt, when they're 18. So
we got talking about his family, his children, which he adores. I said, well, he would die for them. And I said, well, he could die for them. We can all die for our families. I said to him, but are you prepared to live for them? And that's when the crunch came to him.
I wanted to be somewhere where it was relaxing for me. I still had my phone, still answered my emails. I could still talk to clients, could still talk to staff. No one had to know where I was unless I told them where I was. For me, counselling, yeah, sure, it was a part of the experience and it helped, but it was a whole package that did it for me. So, we had our own chef here, which was great. I loved it that we did different activities each day. So we sat in this exact room and I played a guitar. I've never played a guitar in my life. Then we went salsa dancing. They do these things to obviously, take you out of your comfort zone and do stuff that you wouldn't normally do at home and just see what you like. And so a bit of exercise. So now I'm a fitness fanatic, I'm addicted to it. So they probably, then they did say, Alistair did say, your addiction will probably go to something else. And it did, and it's gone to fitness. So since I was here, I lost 9 kilos. But obviously, once you come out of here, everyone's proud of you. But I've also said if I go back to drinking, you can drink and then you'll fall off the rails again. Then you come back here, You're not going to get the same reaction when you go out again the second time. They're going to go, oh, okay, how long is he going to be sober for this time, you know? I got one shot at it, and this is it. So we're 120 days sober now, and it feels like day one. I feel great.
In Brendan's former life, he was a champion barrel racer and renowned horse whisperer, even being called on by Oprah when she did a segment on horses in Australia. Horses and family were his world until addiction took the reins.
I realised that I can be a person again. I can be part of this world. I didn't realise that you could change, you could be someone different, you can have a life, you can smile, you can be happy if you want, but happiness isn't something that's given to you, you've got to work for it.
I did a lot of therapy with him and around his accepting himself as a human being, his trauma that he suffered and why he came to put a gun to under his chin and shoot himself, and why he got to that point, which was pretty much instantaneously. He wasn't thinking about doing it, but he just had enough and he just got up and shot himself. But in saying that, this guy is probably one of the nicest souls that you'll meet. He's really, really a kind person, deep inside.
They just detoxed me to get me off everything. Don't think it's going to be easy, you know, there is nothing easy about trying to clean yourself up. Your body goes into shock, I think. And this is what I love about this place, it's always one-on-one counselling. It's always about you. They will make and change the program to suit the person. They actually seem to know you better than you know yourself when you walk in here. These guys aren't about you being wrong, they're about what you've done isn't good for you, but we can help you into the person you're meant to be.
Thanks for joining us on Rehab Diaries. We hope these stories have encouraged you or someone you love to take that first step and to know that recovery is totally achievable with the right support, and life on the other side of addiction can be so much brighter.